What's good, everybody? This is Dario Hunt from Movie My Fearless. I'm back with another reaction, this time to Roma. So let's talk about it. Roma is the last movie on my list of Best Picture nominees that I have not gotten a chance to see yet. So let's get right into it. As always, there are some slight spoilers ahead, so you have been warned. Much like The Favorite, when I first saw the trailer for Roma, my immediate reaction, oh, this is definitely going to be a probable contender for the Best Picture because it, again, has everything the Academy typically looks for in its Best Picture nominations. It is the quintessential indie, artistic, artsy film when you think about that type of indie scene. Shot entirely in black and white and shot entirely in Spanish. It is a beautifully made movie and the cinematography is absolutely gorgeous here. The shots and the camera work here is definitely top notch and worthy of an Oscar nomination alone. The story, however, is a bit basic, but I can't knock it too much for that because it definitely feels like that was very intentional. Seeing as this is the director's kind of semi-autobiographical ode to his own maid, because for those of you that don't know and that aren't aware, Roma is the story of a maid, I believe in Mexico, for this family that is going through all this turmoil while she is in turn going through some traumatic experiences in her own life. And going into this knowing that this was an ode to his maid in his life and how important she was to him, it really put this in an entirely different context for me than I probably would have taken it if I had not known this beforehand. Because he does not set out here to make any particular statement, like politically or socially, and there aren't a ton of big sort of set pieces here, or even necessarily big kind of cornerstone moments. Because it is really just about her going through her everyday life and activities and kind of being the backbone of the family, the unseen backbone of the family who has impacts on their lives in all types of different ways and doesn't really get acknowledged for it until the very end. Because despite her going through her own turmoil in her life with, her, I guess, kind of boyfriend and certain type of events that happen there, she is still always there for the family, for everything they need. And while in turn, the mother of that family is going through her own sort of troubles with her husband, who, spoiler, they are separated. So they are both kind of going through these giant moments and changes in their life, and they're both, the family is there for her as kind of a support system, and she is there for the family as their support system. So it is really still a very simple love story about family and enduring times, and in particular, family maids and workers, which I guess maybe more of a typical thing in Mexico, but it is not very typical unless you are uber rich in the US. So it didn't quite resonate with me on that sort of level, but I can definitely still take away kind of the message and the feeling that he was trying to convey. Because although you may not have your own personal maid who was there for you since you were a little kid, you could have like a grandmother or an aunt or just a family friend who was always there when you guys needed them. And for a I'm pretty sure first time actor in the lead here, she does a pretty good job here. And I don't think she has like a ton of giant acting moments where she has to show off these incredible ranges of emotion, but her presence there really gives this natural feeling to the proceedings, like it is just life happening on screen instead of a movie happening on screen. And I really can't stress enough just how basic this story is here, because while there are a few kind of set pieces and stuff happening in the background, it is still firmly in the background, and everything kind of just gets washed over, and you don't really get any answers or definitive conclusions here. It kind of just ends, and it's just kind of like, oh, life goes on, just another day is about to happen. And again, it's definitely intentional because he is trying to kind of just portray life on screen. But for 2.5 hours or over 2 hours, it drug on far too long. From an artistic kind of standpoint, it is a gorgeous movie, and it is a beautiful kind of story and beautiful love letter to, you know, all the workers and people and unseen people in people's lives. But from a entertaining type of movie standpoint, it is not that at all. So do I think it deserves a Best Picture nomination? I can definitely say it could probably deserve its Best Director nomination, because I think he does a fantastic job with the camera work here, and he does a fantastic job with world building, and there's some great direction going on. Now, movie-wise, it is not one that I will find myself going back to probably ever again. But again, movies like The Artist, which again, I was definitely not a big fan of, have won before, so I can definitely see why this would be nominated. And as the actor in the lead, while she does do a good job for her first, real major role, or maybe even role in general, I don't think she deserved the nomination because she doesn't have a whole lot of big acting moments that kind of show how skilled and how difficult the role was. But for those of you that have seen the movie, what do you guys think about it? Do you think it was too artistic and too lacking in anything eventful happening in the movie? Do you think it deserved all the nominations it's got? What did you think about, some of the cinematography? Let me know in the comments down below, and be sure to have its official site where you can leave your own ratings for this movie, other movies, and everything else I react to over there on the site. If you have anything that you're personally going to react to, you can also let me know in the comments down below. And if you like any of the guy rocking these videos like this or this, you can also head over to the site and grab some for yourself. As always, thank you guys for joining me. If you're liking these videos, please smash that like and subscribe button for me. I will be back shortly with more reactions, but until then, I will catch you guys soon. Peace.